Looking for effortless style without the designer price tag? Discover your new favorite looks at shockshop.us. From chic everyday essentials to statement pieces that turn heads, ShockShop brings you trend-forward women's fashion designed to fit your life and your budget. Whether you're dressing for brunch, the office, date night, or a weekend getaway, we've got styles that move with you and make you feel confident. Fresh drops, flattering fits, fast shipping. Upgrade your wardrobe today at shockshop.us, where comfort meets confidence and style is always in season. Shop now and shine your way.
Sacramento, California. In a political climate where billionaires are often portrayed as symbols of inequality, Tom Steyer is attempting a delicate balancing act, persuading California's progressive voters that vast wealth and left-wing populism are not mutually exclusive. The former hedge fund executive and longtime Democratic donor has entered the 2026 governor's race, arguing that his financial independence makes him uniquely positioned to challenge corporate power. With Governor Gavin Newsom turned out, the contest has drawn a crowded field of Democrats and Republicans, setting up one of the most closely watched races in the country. Steyer's pitch is straightforward but politically risky. He says he understands how the financial system works because he succeeded inside it and now wants to overhaul it. A shift to the left. Steyer has sharpened his progressive message since his 2020 presidential run. He now backs a single-payer healthcare system, supports higher corporate levies, and has publicly said the ultra-wealthy, himself included, should pay more in taxes. He has also floated proposals to raise commercial property taxes on large corporations, close international tax loopholes used by multinational firms, expand union protections and collective bargaining rights. Labor leaders have responded cautiously but not dismissively. Some union officials view Steyer as a candidate willing to challenge Silicon Valley's political muscle and corporate donors. Still, skepticism lingers. Critics argue that self-funding a campaign with millions earned on Wall Street undercuts claims of economic populism. Political consultant Gary South summed up that tension bluntly. Voters struggling with rent and grocery bills may question whether a billionaire can truly grasp their daily anxieties. Democratic rivals press the case. Steyer faces formidable competition within his own party. Katie Porter, the former Orange County congresswoman known for grilling corporate executives in congressional hearings, has positioned herself as the authentic anti-corporate candidate. Her campaign highlights her reliance on small-dollar donors and her record battling financial institutions in Washington. Rep. Eric Swalwell, another Democratic contender, is emphasizing his experience on national security and gun violence legislation, arguing he offers both progressive credentials and governing know-how. Both Porter and Swalwell come from more conventional political paths, contrasting with Steyer's outsider profile. Porter, in particular, has drawn attention to Steyer's past investments in industries like fossil fuels and private detention facilities, questioning whether his political evolution is recent or deeply rooted. The Republican field. While Democrats dominate statewide politics, Republicans are mounting competitive campaigns aimed at capitalizing on voter frustration over crime, homelessness, and the cost of living. Among the prominent GOP contenders, Bianco, the Riverside County Sheriff, is running on a law and order platform focused on public safety and opposition to what he calls Sacramento's soft-on-crime policies. Kevin Faulconer, the former San Diego mayor, is presenting himself as a pragmatic conservative with executive experience in a large city. Business-oriented Republicans are also exploring bids centered on tax relief, deregulation, and scaling back environmental mandates they argue drive up costs. Republicans hope that concerns about affordability, housing shortages, and utility prices could narrow the state's long-standing Democratic advantage, particularly if multiple Democrats split the vote in California's top two primary system. The top two factor. California's primary structure sends the two highest vote-getters regardless of party to the general election. That dynamic creates unusual strategic calculations. If Democratic voters divide among Steyer, Porter, Swalwell, and others, a Republican candidate could secure one of the two slots in November. Conversely, a fragmented GOP field could result in two Democrats advancing. Steyer's substantial personal wealth gives him the ability to blanket airways with advertising, potentially boosting his visibility in a crowded field. But past California elections have shown that money alone does not guarantee victory. Meg Whitman's record-breaking spending in 2010 failed to secure the governorship. Other wealthy hopefuls have stumbled despite heavy self-funding. Labor's calculus. Union support may prove decisive. Nurses and school employee groups have signaled openness to Steyer's candidacy, citing their promises to defend collective bargaining and raise corporate taxes. However, major labor powerhouses, including the Service Employees International Union, SEIU, and the California Teachers Association, have yet to make endorsements.
For labor leaders wary of centrist Democrats or tech-backed candidates, Steyer's independence from major donors could be attractive. Yet the question remains whether activists will trust a billionaire reformer over career public servants. The wealth tax debate. A looming test of Steyer's credibility is a proposed ballot initiative that would impose a one-time wealth tax on California's richest residents. While Steyer agrees how billionaires should shoulder a heavier tax burden, he has stopped short of endorsing that specific measure, instead favoring longer-term structural reforms to corporate taxation. Opponents argue that hesitation undercuts his populist rhetoric. Supporters counter that fiscal policy requires durable solutions rather than symbolic gestures. A high-stakes experiment. At its core, Steyer's campaign represents an experiment in modern progressive politics. Can immense personal wealth coexist with a message centered on economic fairness? Democratic rivals argue lived experience and legislative records matter more than fortune. Republicans contend that California's problems stem from years of one-party rule and progressive governance. As the June primary approaches, Steyer's ability to translate financial resources into grassroots enthusiasm and overcome doubts about his background will determine whether his unconventional strategy resonates. In a state defined by innovation and inequality in equal measure, the 2026 governor's race may answer a broader question. Is California ready to embrace a billionaire who promises to challenge the very system that made him rich?